It is way too early to be doing any real garden work or property work at all, because this is actually, we're in like a second false spring here in Michigan. I want to say right now it's like in the 50s. Kids are out here in t-shirts and shorts. I mean, it feels great, but it's a trick. So what I'm going to do is, instead of really clean up, I am going to start not really cleaning up, but cutting down a bunch of these raspberry bushes that are all over the place, just to try to get ahead of them this year, so that hopefully we can be done with it. It won't be done, but at least closer. So that's the plan. We're just going to start cutting these down. It is a start. So I got this little corner here. Now, over the next couple weeks before we plant out here, I'm going to work on getting this kind of pushed back, because it's right up along the garden right here. So we're going to work on getting it pushed back. Hopefully. They just keep coming back, because I've dug these up like 6 times now. Multiple times every summer. So they're right here, the works. We're going to get them pushed as far back as possible. And then this corner we're going to get cleaned up before we get started on planting. And then over on this side, we don't have raspberries. These are thornless blackberries. So at least we're not dealing with the thorns. But we're going to try to get these blackberries cut down, and it's going to be a pain in the butt, but we're going to have to keep cutting them down until hopefully someday they finally die. But that's all I'm going to do now. I don't even know what time it is. That's all I'm going to do right now, because I have other projects to get done in the house. Oh, and another thing, we're going to be coming out here one of these days and marking trees that need to get cut down. And we're not going to use those trees are going to be used for multiple things. For fence posts, for garden beds, all the things. So we will be using them in lots of different ways, but we'll be doing that a little bit later. I did, after cutting down the branches, I did turn our compost, because it's finally thawed a little bit. But right here on the side are all of the branches and weeds and raspberry bushes so far that I've cut down. And here's our compost pile. Now, it actually looks really good. Just, it's been frozen for like 6 months. So it hasn't composted as much lately, but it's thawed out enough that I turned it so that hopefully it'll finish composting up this little bit. And then we'll be able to use this in the garden. Now, we are going to sift it like everything else. The next project that we'll be working on is down here in the barn. Now, the barn is a lot messier than is actually cleaner than it was, but winter has been rough on us, especially in the chicken and duck area. The ducks, and we knew this, made a mess of this whole area. So right here where their water dishes are is extremely wet and saturated. So to offset that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some of this bedding and stuff that has gotten into the middle. We're going to put that into our gorilla cart, then dig some of this up, mix it together, and keep going like that. And the reason for that is just so that way it composts a little faster. It's not super saturated. It has a chance to kind of soak into other layers and dry up. But that will allow it to hopefully compost a little bit faster. And so we have the gorilla cart is right there with a couple of piles of chicken coop bedding that we pulled out during the middle of winter. So we couldn't get it to where they actually needed to be to compost. But what I'll do is I'll take this stuff as well. This has had all winter to kind of compost down and do its thing. So we'll take all of this as well, kind of mix it in with the compost up there and put it into all of the gardens and out into our new market garden we're working on this year. But yeah, this is gonna be the fun for the next couple of weeks, because it's supposed to get warm, but then it's supposed to get cold again in the next couple of days. It's also supposed to be super rainy, so anything we can do that requires us to be wherever we need to be. So that is the plan. So join us as we start getting the barn and everything cleared up for the summer. Alrighty. I did not get video because it was one of those things where I just saw it and I needed to get it done, and all of my cameras batteries are dying. But I just came out here, and again, I just saw it needed to get done. I was getting cold, so I just wanted to get a start on it. But along this side of the garden bed, we had blackberries growing. Now, we transplanted a lot out into the fruit orchard out there. But blackberries constantly grow unless you can get the whole root system out. We can't get the whole root system out. That's not going to happen. So what I just did is I came in just to kind of start cleaning up the garden bed. I came in. There's still some, it's hard to see. There's some right here that I still need to cut away, but I got all the rest because they started growing up. And they were all along this side of my garden bed. And so I cut most of them down. I just have a little grouping, but I'm freezing and I need to give Amelia a bath. So I cut most of them down. Now, is that going to kill them? No. But my thought process is if I get them cut down as close to the ground as possible, then I can come in with the lawnmower and just keep mowing over them. And hopefully at some point then they will die. So same thing we have on the other side of the garden bed is raspberries that have turned naturalized in that area. So again, we transplanted a lot of those out to the fruit orchard. Now they did not survive, but that's fine. They have naturalized on that side of my garden bed. So if I want to, I can always transplant more. But my thought process is, again, cut them down to the ground and just keep mowing over them until they kind of start dying away, because they get most of their nutrients from the ground, but if they can't get above the surface, then they can't grow anymore. So that is my thought process, to just start trying to clean up the property. But that's my goal. And then we also have this rose bush right there that I'm going to cut down, and I'm hoping to just dig it up and move it somewhere else, but I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to cut that down to the ground and just freshen it up, and if it stays there, it's fine. It will look beautiful. There's one down at the front of the barn, same thing. I'm just going to cut it all the way down to the ground, just let it start over, and then next year I'll be able to kind of prune it, start pruning them into beautiful shapes, because we have 3 on the back of the house that I cut all the way down to the ground thinking I was going to kill them. They did not die. And so my plan is to just prune them so that they start growing into a much better shape. Yeah. And then, another thing. There's trees back there, and you'll see like some orange bands or ties around them. Those trees all have to come down. Now, there's a couple of reasons. One, they are dying. 2, they are too close to the fence and could fall and land on the goat's fence. So we want to try to avoid that. And 3, they are shading out the garden a little bit. So we are going to cut those ones down. I do want to go into the woods and actually kind of start cleaning it up so the trees can get healthier. But that is something that can wait right now. The focus is just the garden. And then also we have trees in the back acre, the back woods. It's not really backwoods. It's just the woods over here, our sugar maple woods, that there's trees that are dying. So, and they're big enough that we can use them for fence posts. So those are getting cut down so we can use them for fence posts for around the buck's pen, and add a couple fence posts for the girls' pen. Because what we need to do is we need to add more supports to the girls' pen. And I would love to start switching out all of the fence posts around everywhere into wooden posts. And you may think, why would you do that? Because wooden posts are going to rot. We do the Shosugi bond method, so they don't rot as fast, but still, they just look better. And we have so many trees that need to come down anyways because they're dying. Why not use them for something good? So I will be taking you along too. We already marked all of the apple trees that need to be pruned. We are doing a crazy prune, so I'm hoping the trees survive, but we will be taking you along when we go to do that as well. I'm hoping it's this weekend, but we have a really hard weekend this weekend with rain and possible snow again. So I'm hoping to do it this weekend, but I have a feeling it's going to be next weekend when it's warmer. So you'll just have to wait and see. It might be in this video, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out,
a ton of projects going on right now. The first one is the milking stand. You've been watching me kind of start building it and everything. Now, we do still have our other milking stand. However, we had another surprise baby. And you may be thinking, oh my gosh, you just had a surprise baby. Well, this one is one we didn't know if she was pregnant or not. I didn't know. But about a week ago, from the time this video was taken, I noticed her udder getting really big. Goldie, right there, that pretty one. Her udder started getting really big. Now, I've tried to get her pregnant multiple times. It didn't work. So happy that she did finally get pregnant. But her, Goldie and Poppy, with them being Nubians, they struggle to get on our milking stand right here because of the stairs. They are just, it just doesn't work for them. So I am building a shorter milking stand where they will just have to jump up to the height of the milking stand and be done. So I am trying to make it as sturdy and as strong as possible. You also saw us moving the hay to a different part of the barn. Now, it is not going to be here permanently. We're going to figure out somewhere else to do said hay. But the reason we did that is because the kids' 4-H projects. Both Trevor and Taylor have started 4-H. And so they have decided on projects. Now, Taylor is doing goats. She wants to stick with goats. But Trevor has decided he wants to do bunnies. So we are building a bunny hutch and then the kit hutch up above it. So we needed this spot, which again, as you guys remember, this is going to be kind of cut smaller. So the bunny's hutch will actually extend almost the whole length to here, almost. But so we are getting that bunny hutch going for Trevor's project, which they start at the end of this month, 4-H. So we are trying to get that built so that we are kind of ahead of the curve because we don't know how far they're supposed to be. We don't know much information at all. So that is the plan. So Trevor's going to have a bunny hutch. So we're going to have 2 does and 1 buck, I guess. I think the males are called bucks. We're going to have 2 does and 1 buck. Then we have an area for the kits up above. So the chickens are not happy because we had to take down their nesting boxes. Again, those are going to be taken down anyways. So they are not happy. So they're on the floor over here now. But they're just going to have to suck it up because they're going to get moved outside permanently very soon. So we got lots of projects going on right now. It's all going to happen at some point. But just stay tuned. This milk stand I need to get done today. So right here, I'm just putting the flooring part on it. I'm also going to, right now, getting the flooring part on and getting the head stall on is the most important part for me. The rest of it I can do later. But that is the most important part, is getting this stuff on first. So that way we can get the head stall in there and get beautiful Goldie milked more comfortably for her. Because right now I have to pretty much pick her up, which she is like almost 100 pounds. I have to pick her up and carry her up that because she will not get up the stairs. So it's been rough. So I'm hoping that this, she'll just jump onto, she'll be going. That's the plan. is dark right now. It is late at night. So we finished the milking stand for the most part. So I couldn't take video of her getting on or milking or anything just because I needed to have both my hands to help her. And this kept falling. So that is going to be changing. I already knew that. I just wanted a temporary thing to have something up there. But it worked. We just need to get a latch or something to kind of hold this so that something to put over it so the goats can't open it any further. But Goldie did so much better on this. She was so much more calm. She could kind of relax. So it's just going to be getting up and her getting used to getting up on it. That's just going to take some time. So I got to get this milk back up to the house, get everything cleaned, and yeah, it was a success. And it was a last minute project that we just needed to get done. So I can honestly say it was a success for what we needed it for. So